Let me guess. You don't feel irresponsible with money. Pay your bills, you're not drowning in debt. Probably even save a little. But somehow it still feels like your financial life is heavier than it should be, like no matter how much progress you make. Things never quite loosen up. And the frustrating part is, you can't point to one obvious mistake. Nothing looks wrong. And that's exactly the problem. My name's Brian, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who are objectively good with money still feel stuck. If you're someone who earns decent money, avoids major financial mistakes, but still feels like your future isn't moving fast enough, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today we're talking about the one expense that quietly decides your financial future, and almost nobody realizes how powerful it is. Most people think their biggest financial problem is rent, or their car, or not earning enough. And look, those things matter. But here's the thing. Those aren't usually what decides your future. They're visible, they're obvious. The real driver is much quieter, much more boring, and way more dangerous if you ignore it. The expense that quietly decides your financial future is your fixed monthly commitments. Not how much you spend, but how much of your income is already spoken for before the month even begins. Rent, car payments, subscriptions, insurance, minimum debt payments. These don't feel scary individually, but together, they control how flexible your life really is. Here's what most people don't realize. Two people can earn the same income and live completely different financial lives, not because one is smarter, but because one has lower fixed obligations, according to the Federal Reserve. Nearly 40% of Americans say they couldn't handle a $1,000 emergency without stress. That's not an income problem. That's a flexibility problem. When most of your income is locked into fixed expenses, your brain stays in a constant low-level stress mode. Behavioral economists call this cognitive load. Even when nothing goes wrong, your mind knows there's no margin. When there's no margin, you make defensive decisions. You avoid risk. You delay investing. You choose comfort over progress. Let's make this real. Say you take home $5,000 a month. If $3,800 of that is locked into fixed bills, you're surviving, not building. Now, compare that to someone who takes home $4,000 but only has $2,200 in fixed costs. Who actually has more financial power? It's not the higher earner, it's the person with flexibility. This is where it gets really interesting. Fixed expenses don't just affect your budget. They decide how long it takes to recover from mistakes. They decide how long you stay stuck in jobs you don't like. They decide whether investing feels exciting or terrifying. Once your obligations cross a certain point, your income stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling like a requirement. Now, you might be thinking, Brian, isn't this just about budgeting better? And no, not really. Plenty of people budget perfectly and still feel trapped. The issue isn't tracking money. It's designing a life where money has room to breathe. Ironically, people who are responsible often get hurt the most here. They qualify for nicer apartments, better cars, bigger loans. And because they can afford the payment, they say yes without realizing they're trading future flexibility for present comfort. Every fixed expense is a trade. You're not just paying money, you're paying with future options. That payment follows you into every decision. Can you switch jobs? Can you invest aggressively? Can you handle a surprise? Fixed costs decide the answer before you even ask the question. I've seen people making $90,000 feel calmer than people making $140,000. The difference wasn't discipline or intelligence. It was structure. One had room, the other had obligations stacked to the ceiling. Here's what you can do immediately. Calculate your fixed monthly commitments, not spending commitments. Anything you must pay. If that number is above 50 to 60% of your take-home pay, that's the real reason progress feels slow. Second, treat raises differently. Most people let lifestyle expand automatically. Instead, freeze your fixed costs when income increases. Let the gap go toward savings, investing, and flexibility. Third, protect optionality. Optionality is the ability to say no to jobs, to stress, to bad decisions. That only exists when your monthly obligations are low enough to give you leverage. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much control you have over your time, your stress, and your decisions. Fixed expenses quietly decide all three. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to live like a monk. But you do need to be intentional. Because once your life is designed around flexibility, progress accelerates in ways income alone never could. If this helped you see your money differently, hit the like button. It helps more than you think. Subscribe for more honest, real-world money breakdowns. Comment below. Do you feel like your income works for you, or like you work to maintain your expenses? We'll see you in the next one.